way. Like,
well, here we are. Here's my face. Hey guys.
Our boy Colby is also known as Bernie for those of us millennials who remember such an excellent piece of filmmaking.
That's good. I'm wondering how many of our listeners will get that or not, and how many are of our age group, or if there's anyone younger that's probably looking at us like now, like, what the fuck are these guys doing right now?
Well, because Ollie said he didn't know we can Bernie's, right?
Well, he's younger too.
He's 23.
Old Satchy is a little younger. Old Satchy's a little younger. He's a little younger.
He's a little bit younger. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really know I don't know. I mean, I kind of do know. We'll
if you were in the middle and we like
right.
Hold on.
Can you switch that? Yeah.
Go. No, like get up in there and like we could. Nope, I can't figure it out.
There we go. I'm in.
Then just like raise your arm.
Welcome to the Snobby Boys.
You are now tuned into the Snobby Boy podcast.
That gets better every time.
Welcome to the Snobby Boy podcast. I am your host, Bernie. This is my friend Larry, my friend Richard.
Richard. God.
How
seriously, if you haven't seen it, please go see it.
Yeah, like you got to. If you don't know Weekend at Bernie's, it's you're fucking up.
Yeah, apparently you never spend a day homesick and watch the 8 a.m. movie on Cartoon Network. You know?
No, when they stay home from school now, they sit on their phone all day and just scroll fucking TikTok and shit. So
exactly. Fucking TikTok.
Not the same. Like watching Maury and
Price is
Right. Exactly.
Like you might get sometimes, like on an occasion, like I may was it that Mike Myers movie? I might have married an axe murderer or whatever, or
Death Becomes Her.
That one too, or the baby. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
Yep.
Drop Dead Fred.
Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah.
Nostalgia right now. Let's go.
Just bringing it all in. So we've got a massive episode for you guys, even though this was a seemingly small match this past week. So just to go over a few of our talking points, we're going to chat, obviously, on the Nottingham Forest match. We'll talk about a little bit of the build-up that went into this match with Pep, and a little bit of that Red Star Belgrade match that led up into that press conference. Obviously, we're going to talk about the goals that were scored from Foden, Haaland. We'll talk about Nunes and his involvement in the starting 11. And then, of course, the big topic of the week, Rodri's red card. That was
is right.
Idiotic.
Boy, oh boy. And then to cap it all off, we're going to talk a little bit about Calvin Phillips' progression and his pathway forward after Rodri in his 3-game ban. So let's jump right into it. Pep came out and what most people would translate as talking them up or conceding to the opponent in the press conference in a way. And by saying that they had 2 Champions League trophies. Let's all agree this is tactics. This is tactics of Pep. He does it all the time. Nobody fucking understands it. Nobody sees it yet. You've got to start to see it, guys.
Well, that and it's immediately following their manager saying the Etihad is now a fortress, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And he's just deflecting and being like, hey, yeah, we win a shit ton of matches here, but, 45 million years ago, they won a couple of champions.
Right. Exactly. Like the whole thing of it too, like he just, you have to understand his facetiousness. Like he he makes it seem like it's a bigger deal than what it actually is, guys. You have to have faith in your squad. You have to understand that we adapt. It is a next man up mentality in this club. You have to see that he has a master plan beyond what we all see. And that's the beauty of it all. Every week we get to see some sort of magic that he pulls out of his ass. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
He is very measured in every press conference that he comes in. He is well prepared, and everything that he comes out of his mouth is intentional. So he definitely is looking to take, I guess, pressure off the lads and kind of direct attention back to him a little bit during press conferences where they're not necessarily talking about the players so much. And not in a way that's like, hey, look at me. Is a let's shift the focus away from what other people have been saying about how great the team is, and I'll say something in the presser that's gonna like bring the attention on, hey, Pep said this, instead of, oh, Man City's so great, so the players and everybody aren't necessarily reading into all of the hype that other people might be trying to push our way. So he's definitely super measured in what he says and intentional with the comments that come out during all of his wonderful pressers. So definitely a tactical decision on his part to talk about those kind of things.
Yeah.
And whenever we get those little pieces of Pep wit, it's like, thanks, Pep. You made my life.
So good.
It always makes the weekend. Like it makes it at the start of the weekend. You just, when he gets in the press conference and he starts talking and he starts saying, he's kind of, in the way I think he's talking shit in his own little way.
Catalan.
Yeah, man. It revs me right up, dude. So 2 goals pretty close together in the first half. Foden, Haaland. Foden came in a 7-minute goal. Haaland came in a 13-minute goal. Absolute screamer from Phil. And Kyle, you were kind of talking about a little bit before we got on here, kind of the buildup of how that goal came about. Say something a little bit about it.
I mean, that Kyle Walker, that ball into Kyle, first of all, and then just to like, it wasn't even like the greatest layoff back to Phil, because it was a little like if you ever played kickball and like the guy who's rolling the ball is like a little too bouncy, and you're like, fuck this, give me a better one. It was kind of like that, but Phil was still just like there for it, and I mean, either way, like just his awareness, what we're seeing from Kyle is a new level of his attacking ability. Exactly. And what we're seeing from Phil, fuck you, Gareth Southgate, is him being great in that 10 role and floating around.
Let's dabble on that one a little bit, because I don't know that I've heard too many other podcasts or really other than people sitting in the comments saying it that are actually know what the fuck they're talking about. That was where he got his start, guys.
Exactly.
He is a number 10. Like he can run an 8. He can run a 10. He can run 11 if he wants to. Or
a 7.
Exactly. He has the ability, but his natural position is the midfield. His build-up play and his ability to cut through the defenses, bar none, one of the best. And how you don't see that, Southgate? What? Like.
And I'm pretty sure Southgate was in attendance today during the match on Saturday too. So Phil's like, hey.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Coach? Did you see that? Like,
it's just fucking nonsense, man. Like it's him just trying, and the funniest thing about Southgate is he's been trying to hang on to Jordan Henderson for so long, and it's like, why? Right. Jordan Henderson's been shit like forever. I'm sorry, I've never really rated Jordan Henderson, but I know Liverpool fans always will. But come on, he's shit. Right. He's fucking shit.
Can't believe they're biting at our heels right now. That's kind of crazy. Nobody really thought that going into the season, to be honest. At least up to me. But so
the Phil goal, like you said, the back pass and the layoff from Kyle wasn't the greatest, but Phil made that shit look so easy. And the technique to get over the ball and get your hips squared up and around like that is not easy. And then I think he hit it into the ground a little bit on purpose. I don't think it was a miss hit or anything like that. That like their minds work so fast to be able to get their bodies in that position and hit it and say, I'm going to put this into the ground to make it a more difficult save.
Right.
And he hit it so hard, Turner didn't have a chance to do anything with it. It was just a wonderfully worked goal. And then to have another beautiful team goal, 6 minutes after that, that little burst there for the first 15 minutes was a thing of beauty.
It was. And I mean, we stretched them beyond their belief. And of course, we'll get further into that as the show goes on. But they for as much as Pep built them up to everybody, and yes, we only got 2 at the end of the day.
Extenuating.
They've done worse to other clubs, though.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we were kind of expecting a fight out of them, and we didn't get the fight that we hoped for, I guess you could say. But all in the same, they still put up. They're still a good side for where they're at, and you have to give their defense a lot of credit for trying to shut down all those lanes that they had open early on, because we did have quite a few chances. It wasn't like those 2 shots were all that was there. I mean, there was plenty of chances left open that were not had. So kudos to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, and Turner had some nice days in the first half too. Shout out to the U.S. men's national team, number 1, for having a solid game, even though he gave up 2, and showing that he's more than just a backup keeper at Arsenal. He can be a number 1 on a Premier League team, not necessarily a top Champions League team, but he's capable enough to be a number 1 in a top tier league. So shout out to Matt Turner.
Who's to say that though? If you put him behind a proper line, and no offense, Sheffield, but you're not the fortress of solitude that is our back line.
No.
And but then again, Ederson's save on, I can't think of whose shot that was, but that one cracker, that was close range too. Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
Eddie. Big game from Eddie.
Nailed it. It was a great match.
So we finally got our first taste of Nunes in the starting 11. Played in the 8 role. Played very well. With having Kova out, especially, and there being this kind of what do you call it? Kind of just being in this unknown territory, not having anybody solid that we're acquainted with.
We have a shit ton of injuries.
We have a shit ton of injuries, and our depth is going to show through these next couple weeks, and of course we're going to get into that more. But Nunes, his involvement in Haaland's goal, I mean, we didn't even talk about Haaland's goal yet, really, but his involvement in Haaland's goal was exactly what we needed at the time that we needed it.
He put that ball on such a fucking platter. Haaland didn't have to move. All he had to do was aim his fucking head. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
And the link-up play before that was even more brilliant between with Phil and making the run, it was just seeing the ball ping around like that, and even not even with the goals, but just he's seamlessly shifted into a notoriously difficult spot to fit into a Pep Guardiola side in your first year. Playing midfield for Pep is very challenging, and he's got a great first touch. He works hard. The work rate is something I didn't realize he had. He was busting his ass, pressing and getting back in a defensive position when we had to play more defensive in the second half for obvious reasons. But he was very fun to watch, and I enjoyed him a lot. And God, Haaland, fantastic, awesome guy, great ball. But Serge Aurier, what the hell were you doing, bro? You're marking Haaland, and then you ran to the near post and left him all by himself. What the fuck kind of defending is that, bro? You're a back got a back three with two wing backs, and you're going into the near post on a cross. Like what? That was mind boggling to me. I couldn't believe that shit.
I mean, there's a reason why he's not defending for
right.
That would be why.
It's funny, isn't it? How like where you're playing is a sign of status of what type of player you really are too. Like,
well,
like I look at the landscape of the NFL, and every team that is, they have, there's at least 3 to 5 really good players, and then like some subsidiary players, whatever. But you go into the Premier League, if you're in a like bottom half of the table team, it says something about your skill. Just saying.
Especially if you're like a newly promoted. I mean, those situations where like and even when like Fulham or those clubs come up and spend like 100 million or whatever to try and spice things up, it's like you're fucking around. Like you should not be fucking around like this. Maybe spend 25 to 50 and grab a couple players to add some scoring or add some midfield or whatever. But these clubs that are going in and in the new promotion and doing like a whole revamp, well, you're fucking with everything that got you up there, and like that's just stupid. And
Chelsea has been the most active club recently, but Nottingham is right behind them with just sheer numbers of players. They didn't spend as much as Chelsea because nobody has, but between last summer when they got promoted and then this summer too, they brought in an absurd amount of players. So that is spot on, Kyle.
Yeah, when they came up last year and they started revamping their squad, that was a question I even brought up. I was like, how would you do that? Like you're breaking up the whole entire chemistry of that team that, exactly like Kyle said, got you there. It makes no sense. Absolutely,
does not.
I mean, and it's not like there is that big of a gap in championship clubs to Premier League clubs. Like there are plenty of Premier League clubs that'll lose matches to championship clubs on any given Saturday
or Sunday,
right? It's so natural to say Sunday, and you really can't say that because
I just stutter on a little bit. By the way, Dolphins, woo! I had to do it.
Is that a historic day in the NFL?
So no one has scored 69 points or more since 1966, and this is the highest scoring game ever for the Dolphins. Yeah.
Who was the last person to do it?
I heard the stat. I don't remember now.
Doesn't matter. Wrong football, anyways.
Yeah. It's just like I had to do it. It's my one of my teams. Badass fucking game. Had to do it.
It's the most impressive score. Was it 70-20?
I believe that is what it finished at. Although I'm not sure because there was still like 10 minutes left for last time I saw it 70-20. So
70-20 was the final.
Okay.
That's confirmed.
So that's wild. That's wild in American football. Absolutely fucking wild.
Yeah, it's not a fucking basketball game with middle.
No, sounds like one though, doesn't it?
For our footy people, that's a 10 to 10-2 scoreline pretty much, in footy terms.
Yeah.
And you don't see 10 goals scored very often, so that tells you how unlikely that scoreline is. We get to halftime, and within a minute, complexion of the game totally changes.
Totally. Incredibly.
Barely got time, settled into the couch with snacks for second half, and I look up, and Rodri's got his fucking hands around Gibbs White's neck. No idea what happened. Go ahead, Kyle.
I'm going to say this. Now, from my view, it did look like, he ended up there, but it looked like he started out as an upper, an upper right chest here. Push. And then I think that he so
jerseys are slippery.
He was thinking it. He did it.
But it is either way. It's like, dude. Unless we don't know what was said because things get said on the pitch all day long.
Of course not.
But
it escalated quickly. That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
I mean, is he just trying to get a little break? Is that what
people were saying that shit? Like, come on.
I was the first person who said it. I was like, listen, dude. I was like, listen. Keep playing this shit. This is premeditated. He's like, I am tired. I have been playing my ass off since last year. I've not had a fucking break. I'm getting fucking fed up with bullshit. I'm gonna.
Coach obviously isn't gonna give me a break.
Coach is not giving me a break anytime soon. So this is what I'm gonna do to get at least 2 weeks off.
I'm just gonna choke a motherfucker.
I'm just gonna choke this bitch out. Oh man,
if that's the case, Rodri.
And it got super chippy from everybody the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Like Ederson was up, and then 2 seconds later, with his head in somebody in their striker's face and like getting into it with him. It was like they were. I kind of like the spiciness from our squad because we don't usually get like that too often. Totally. So when it comes up, I'm like, hell yeah, stand up for yourself.
Fight a bitch. But no, I really do wonder, like, because again, these are players that are normally. I mean, Rodri does some dumb shit here and there, but he doesn't choke people.
No,
he's not Casemiro on this bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's be real. Through most of the match in the first half, before that red card, he was literally just recklessly abandoning his body and throwing himself into fucking people. Like it was, he did not care. He gave 0 fucks on that day.
It did seem like there was a little bit of chippiness going on, and maybe that's just like built up. But again, it just felt like somebody like said some like I fucked your mom or something.
Right?
I don't know, like just somewhere I'm gonna punch you in your fucking mouth. Yeah.
I mean, that could have been thrown out there. That'll set anybody off. Really know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid. Stupid.
Oh man.
Oh, so
he's out. What he's out of the next 3 domestic games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that includes league and competition.
So Newcastle, yep. So do Newcastle and the Carabao, he's out, and then against Wolves, and then the big one against Arsenal on the 8th of October.
So okay, let's kind of take a little toll of what's happened since Saturday into Sunday. Declan Rice is now injured, so that's massive for that fucking club. The way that Arsenal looks, if you watch the Tottenham Arsenal match, very even-sided in my opinion. Very even-sided. The scoreline reflected it. Son really had a massive game. We're not going to get too far into that.
Saka
anyways,
had a good game.
Saka had a massive game too. But here's what I'm saying. Well, I said it at the beginning of the season. I'm going to say it now. What's this, week 5?
6.
I'm just 6. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again. Arsenal does not have the depth. They don't have it. So, as far as I'm concerned, this match coming up, if they have an injured Declan Rice, yes, he kind of helps control the midfield, but that also will affect the distribution of the ball.
Who do they have to put in there? Who do they have?
Exactly. I'm not scared of Arsenal. I don't understand why everybody's so scared of Arsenal. They're sitting in 6th right now. If they're scary as everybody made them out to be, they should be sitting in 2nd, and that's been taken up by Liverpool as it stands. So I just,
and they're not scary either. So
no, they're really not. I mean, they're not. Nobody in the league is really that scary, and I don't mean to be that way. I'm not trying to be a pompous an asshole. I'm being honest. Like, there's just not anybody who can fuck with us right now.
Not barring just ourselves. Really, that's it. The only thing that can stop us at this point is something going on internally, be that injuries or some crazy shit. We would
have to sustain 3 more injuries for this really to affect us in a very negative way. Like literally
for extended period of time. Yep.
Right. Exactly. And as all things Pep said, the presser. These are these injuries that are going on. They are limited time off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're only going to happen for a short period of time. Kevin's going to be back in a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't realize how fat. Well, I guess he's
Kevin's not going to be back until like
out.
December. Yeah.
Right. 2 months out.
Yeah.
3 months out. It's almost October.
Yeah. No shit.
Where'd this year go?
We're old. This is what happens.
Even still, most of the other injuries are week to week. I mean, Jack was even before he came on in the second half. He said he was going to be another 10 days possibly.
As soon as he came on, he was right in the mixer too. Like immediately in the shits.
Love it
immediately.
Absolutely love it.
I like that. I like that the Arsenal game is the third of the ones that Rodri's going to be missing, because that gives us Newcastle and Wolves to kind of work out how we're going to replace him, and Pep will have time to decide who's going to play where, because there's options. We obviously have a lot of people that can play kind of in that spot, and it'll be up to him to pick and choose who's going to play where. But I do like that we have a couple of games to kind of play with it beforehand. If it was the next one up, I think that would be a little bit more difficult for us, but that gives Pep in the squad a little bit more time to get things together and figure out how we're going to play. Because I think that to me is going to be really interesting for the next three on if Calvin Phillips gets a start, which is rarity, and if he's going to play next to Nunes like they were doing before. Do you change shape a little bit? Is John Stones going to be back in time to kind of fill?
That's another one.
So I mean, it's Kovacic's going to be back. He's not a guy who's going to be breaking up transition play like Rodri does, but that's another person that can play in the center of the park. So it's like, what do you do?
So let's jump into the Calvin Phillips portion of this. He finally has a pathway. Kind of
very clear.
He
has an opportunity. He has an opportunity.
He has an opportunity to show himself. Now, one thing that I have thought about frequently over the last few weeks, especially in talks about him, if he can seize this moment, there's a potential, I feel like, in the winter window where we could loan him out if we're healthy.
I would rather us just flat out fucking sell him if we're going to be on that kind of shit.
I get it. I feel like you sell him at the end of the season, though.
Depends on what need. If another club is like fucked,
yes.
Like let's say Declan actually goes down, and like Arsenal,
sure.
A random situation or Bayern, whatever. If somebody needs that guy, because Liverpool even are in that kind of realm of looking for that kind of guy,
right.
And so if it is like a need thing where we can get like, I don't even know what I value it, 40 maybe right now, 35. But if we can get that, and then the same window, we might have our own needs and then spend 70, and that's like essentially a 35 net spend. Not that big a deal.
Right.
And realistically,
especially for a guy who's had as many appearances for his national clubs as he has for his actual club. Like that's, I'll give him away for 35 for sure.
I mean, and again, like I think we all would love to see him dig in, earn his spot, because what he used to do with Leeds was awesome. And it just feels like once he got called up, he felt like he didn't have to do shit anymore. It's like, no, motherfucker, you just got pulled up to the fucking top tier, not fucking Leeds. Now you got to actually like really, really work. And he just hasn't. And I don't know. Maybe that's just what we are getting to see. Obviously, we don't get to watch training and all that, but it kind of sounds like what Pep's saying too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to see him at least get one of these games to start and see what he can do, because almost all of his appearances for City so far have been in cameos of 10 or 15 minutes at a time. And it's difficult to really make an impact on a game, usually when we already have it in hand and you're coming in to kind of just see the game out. There's a totally different energy when you're coming in at that point. And I think when he first came in on Saturday in the game, it took him a little while to kind of get up to speed. But towards the end of the game, I thought he was better and looked a little bit more comfortable. So I would at least like to see him get at least one of these to start, and so we can actually see what we have. Because if we just keep running him out there for little short 10-15 minute bursts, you're never really going to know what you have. And it would be nice to see him get a longer run out, even if it's not brilliant. We'll see. He might surprise us. The other part of that coin is he has to agree to go, and as of now, he's made it very clear from all the reports that he doesn't want to go. He wants to stay and fight for his spot. So it's like, what happens? I think him and Nunes would be a solid partnership. I would also wouldn't mind seeing Nunes a little bit further forward. And if John is healthy, I would love to see John back in there, because he would provide a very similar defensive ability as Rodri back there. And that would be especially with Newcastle coming up, because they just put 8 past who the fuck are they? Which was that Sheffield they played, and they put 8 behind?
Yeah. So
they're not going to do that to us, but
great for my fantasy team, but
exactly. And then the other one that's interesting to me is, what do we do in the Champions League? Does Rodri get to play that one? Because well, he should, but Pep, obviously in the past, when people have gotten reds, has tended to sit them, a la Kyle when he lashed out at somebody. I forget when that kick in the Champions League, and he got a 3-match ban. That cost him a spot for a while. So I'm curious if what Pep does, because in the past he's sat guys for these kind of things, but Rodri's so important for us that maybe you don't do that for the Champions League game for him. So you know what I mean?
But it's also a weekend Leipzig side. So I mean, and especially like you're saying, if Stonesy is back in the next week or whatever, we don't really know what kind of term he's on.
Right.
And if he is back, there's no reason why. I mean, and again, sorry, Calvin, but this would be, if I was making a choice, I'd put Stonesy in that center defending mid role, and let everybody else flow free as normal. That's just because I don't trust Calvin in that role yet.
Right. Well, and with all the different possibilities of formations that we have with what we have, anything is possible. It's like I really feel like with the way that we've been playing more of our traditional 4-3-3 role over the last few weeks with all of our injuries. I think that once we get Stearns back, I think you're right on that. He should play more of that center defensive mid role. I also can see Pep kind of messing between the 3-2-4-1 or even a 4-1-4-1. And working defensively that way, especially having 5 back. I feel like that's going to be. I don't really feel like it's needed. At all, because I really still feel like, and we were talking about this, Kyle. I feel like we could still run with 3 defensive backs the entire time. We don't need 4. Especially when you have somebody centered right there in the front. He can kind of control the midfield, and when you know what I'm saying. And then you have your guys on the outside; they're able to kind of box out this way, and then right behind this. You know what I'm saying?
Again, it just assumes it depends on who we have available to do those.
Exactly.
Yeah. But as far as our defenders go,
I think Calvin can play in that center defensive mid role more so than playing opposite of Nunes. That feels like a good place for us to build trust in him, rather than putting him more in an attacking role, expecting him to push the ball up the field like we have with our other starters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and yeah, if you let Nunes and Phil be in those more attacking roles in the mid and let him hang back, I mean, the trick is that he has to do that job though, and that's where it's just like I don't fucking know. I mean, I hope that when he's given the opportunity, and I hope that he is given a full 90, like you're talking, Joe, give him a real chance to show how he's going to play in these situations. Because realistically, I mean, I probably wouldn't do it in the Carabao Cup, although I don't really mind losing that one. But like, one of these other matches, I wouldn't mind seeing him, do that full 90. Unless again, we don't know what training's like, all that, but
Do we get training on the City app if you're a City Plus member?
I don't think
there are some like snips. Sometimes it's not. It's like, hey, catch the boys getting, and it's like pictures,
15 seconds, right?
Yeah. Not full on, but
either way, I think we're fine. I'm not really worried about Rodri being out. I think this is just a good situation for the club, honestly, because it does give Rodri a break and it does give some other people a chance.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe even like some younger players get to slot in a little
Rico.
bit more. Yeah,
Rico.
Exactly.
Rico.
It's at this point. Go ahead, Colby.
Nope.
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 Perfect. Yes. Well done. At this point, it's kind of like the Champions League match against Red Star, where we messaged at halftime being down 1-0. I was like, I don't really feel super stressed about this, and told you guys we're going to score 3 in the second half, and lo and behold, that's what happened. So I'm like, it stinks not having them for Arsenal, but like we are still running on such a high cylinder right now. I feel good, even though we have some injuries we've talked about, and we're missing Rodri for a bit, who's been one of our most influential players. I still feel like we're going to be fine, just fine.
We just need
crazy
to
think like that.
Phil. We just need to keep seeing Phil grow and grow into that. Like
he's been so
Kevin
influential.
Can be out as long as he wants, like that kind of
Take
thing.
as much time as you need to get healthy.
Exactly.
Then we can have 2 aces right there.
Aces.
ISIS.
Oh, you said ISIS.
What's that? What?
Oh God, I love that one.
What's that called again? When a word becomes a sound?
I really
semantic satiation.
Nice. Nice.
Yes, bravo.
If you didn't hear what I said, semantic satiation.
Boom.
Is when that happens. You're welcome.
In case you have not ever watched.
Go watch Ted Lasso on Apple TV.
Hey, we don't make any money from it. We love that fucking show. Please do it. Give us money if you want, though.
Right. We haven't set a Patreon on yet, so we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. We ain't that big yet.
No,
but we will be.
That's right. Speak it into. Put that shit on the whiteboard. Whiteboard that shit. Exactly. Hey, that was a good sound effect.
Was it? I'm pretty good.
It was.
Not bad.
When I was a kid, I used to love. Obviously, we all grew up at the same time. Loved Ninja Turtles. I'm sure we all did. I could not walk around and make the nunchuck sound. You want to hear the nunchuck? You want to hear the nunchuck sound?
I was going to say you gotta let me hear your nunchuck. Like.
You fucked him.
Exactly.
That's with a.
And I would do the whole thing too.
I like when he's got spinning on his finger like this too. That's real good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's got a pizza in the other hand. Yeah. God damn it, Michelangelo. He's actually. I feel like he's all of our like. He should be our favorite because he's like the most likely. But everybody has their little characters.
I'm like a big Raphael fan, but
same.
Yeah.
Raph is the guy,
especially because of the first one, like how like it was all dark with him and everything. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
He had a lot.
We are really on a weird tangent right now.
I know, and I love it. Hey, do you like my mustache?
It looks great.
Do I look like a dirty wop?
No,
AKA
bro. You look like
Flavor
Lasso, bro.
I got it's all growing in. It's weird.
Yeah, you gotta.
Weird. I have. See, no, I don't know if I can go back full time to it, man. Because I like as Ted Lasso vibe as it is. It also like when I take this bandage off, I look like Mario's wish cousin.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So I don't want to horrify any of our viewers with that. Excuse me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, boys, do you have anything else?
No.
Let's kick Newcastle's ass on Wednesday.
Please.
Let's
God.
fucking do it. Especially like after this fucking 8-0. Like, motherfucker, we need to bring you down a notch and like let you remember what it's like to play the big boys.
Right.
Precisely. One thing I would like to mention about our local supporters club, Colby.
Yes.
I didn't realize this, but I just got notification from our what did we call Scott? What did we decide to call him?
He's chief of staff.
Chief of staff. There we go. Yes.
I didn't realize Bill Murray reference from Ghostbusters.
Hey, now.
I'm really glad you decided on that because I could not remember what the fuck it was.
In early December, there is going to be the Treble Trophy Tour, and it is coming to DC in early December. So we are going to have to set up some time to get down there to go see that fucking Champions League trophy.
That's going to happen.
For sure. So all the Capital City Blues out there, if anybody's listening, make sure you check your notifications because it is coming early December. We don't have a date yet, but we will be seeing the trebles in DC, baby.
Also on that tip, for all of you official support club members that have registered and have not paid your dues, those dues for the DC OSC are due on the 15th of October. So make sure you get in there. If you have not signed up, do it. If you are looking outside of the DC area to get into an official support club, please look up where, obviously where your demographic is and see what their registration cutoff date is. You can typically talk to their official support club president via Instagram or wherever you're following them at and ask what the date is. But I know that it's coming up for a lot of the other cities. So get to it while you can. Otherwise, the next window, I believe, doesn't open until April.
Yeah.
So,
correct.
A lot of perks that come with that, too.
A lot of perks that come with that. So just for us, as support club members, we all get a scarf. We all get a pin. And it's personalized to your support club city. They, depending on, where you're at, they also throw in with a couple of other goodies. I know they do that for the DC club. Scott's really great about that. So yeah, get in while you can.
And if you're ever looking for tickets to a match, either when they come here for preseason tours, or if you're lucky enough to be going across the pond to catch one, you get a window to request tickets through your supporters club, and you usually get a little bit of preferential treatment there. So if you're going across and you're planning a nice trip, they'll take good care of you and make sure you get in to see the Blues.
Massive
proper.
Mm-hmm.
Proper.
Amen to that.
Amen. So we're going to wrap it up. I know it's kind of been a short episode. Normally for the three of us, we're typically on here for about 45 minutes to an hour. But before I go, we're right about there. I do want to send out a shout out to our listeners in specific. Obviously, we did a little bit of deep diving and seeing who, where, what, and when people were watching us. So I want to shout out all of our listeners here in the United States that are in Virginia, Texas, Maryland, New York, New Jersey, Colorado, Iowa, Pennsylvania. We greatly appreciate your support. Please keep listening to us. Please, please, please share. Let's see where else we got some people coming in from.
Like, subscribe, share, all that shit.
We got a big audience in England, guys. I'm actually surprised. 87% of our UK listeners, our UK listenership is in England. The rest is in, obviously, Scotland, Wales, and North Ireland. But massive shout out to our listeners there.
Thank you, UK.
Big thank you. Big thank you for the support.
Right. Rest of the countries that kind of fall under in small percentages: Canada, Germany, Ireland, Morocco, India. Thank you for your patronage. Please share our stuff. Let's see. I had to switch tabs to look at that. So yeah, again, I encourage all of you to go out and join a official support club. I was a little late getting my dues in. I just did it this past weekend. What do?
You got it in before the due date, though.
I got it in before the due date. It's all that matters.
Yeah, now I just have to wait for everything to be gathered up so I can get my shit shipped to me.
There you go. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell. That's where you can find us at Snobby Boy Pod. Down there. Right, down there. Down there, not my name. Way down there.
I'm trying to avoid.
I gotta check. You know what? I just realized this because we still say Twitter and it's not Twitter anymore. It's called X. Right? Hey, we should DX that one time.
I was gonna say Degeneration X, like. Again, millennials.
I need to change the logo down there to X because this is now outdated considering both the pattern and now that. But whatever. Pattern's cool. I like it.
Fucking Elon.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking Elon. Till next week, guys. Have a good one. Up the Blues. And
Sete.
Hell yeah.
Toodles.